We got the bat signal out. We're looking for some good whiskey. Hopefully one of these 2 pours can deliver, but we don't know if they will or not because we don't know what we're tasting. We're completely blind. Let's get into this.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thanks for joining us today for this blind tasting. We have no clue what are in these glasses, and we do it this way to remove the bias because we know how frustrating the whiskey world is sometimes, especially, you go to stores and everybody's talking about some of these bottles that everybody's looking for and you can't find them or they're getting marked up. And we taste this way to take all of that hype out of the equation and tell you if what is in the glass is actually worth paying attention to or not.
Yeah.
We think that provides a lot of value. And if you think it does as well, urge you to subscribe to the channel because pretty much every video we do here is like this. But with that said, let's get into glass 1, see what we're working with.
This is the long-awaited return of Stinky Feet.
Oh, is it?
I'm getting some Stinky Feet on this guy, yeah.
I am getting a banana split.
Okay.
But you're eating it in an attic that's not super old. The house isn't like an early 1900s house.
Okay.
It's like a mid to late 1900s house. So it's not quite old.
Okay.
But it's got a little bit of that staleness in the air.
Okay. Maybe it's like a 1980s house. Built in the 80s.
It's like banana and cherry, and they're mashed together with a
little must.
with the cherry syrup, the must, and it's like
I can see that.
kind of this milk chocolatey, like a stale milk chocolate. The chocolate,
Which I'll still eat.
But when chocolate gets old, it starts kind of getting like white and chalky. That's what this smells like. It's like a white chalky milk chocolate.
I can see that.
With like this cherry banana thing with some cherry syrup drizzled on top.
And I'm getting a little touch of funk too. But yeah, all that I agree with too.
I think this smells really good. It smells sweet, but not overly sweet.
Not overly sweet. Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of an oak presence here. I like this a lot on the nose. Cheers.
This tastes like a Flintstones vitamin.
Really?
Yep.
I'm not getting that at all.
I got that 100%.
What? Are the Flintstone vitamins different colors?
They are different colors. I don't know if they're different flavors. I think...
That's what I meant to ask. I know they're different colors. I can see. I'm
going to say no, but I don't know if that's true.
You know what's interesting is that I get you a little bit now.
Yeah.
I didn't get it on the palate, but I am getting it on the finish. Just a smidge. But
And I want to say that as someone who used to love to eat Flintstones vitamins, this is not a knock on the pour. This is just what I envisioned when I drank it. Was a Flintstones vitamin.
Now, if you're newer to whiskey and bourbon, what you should know is that anytime people say Flintstone vitamins, anybody in the know, like a whiskey nerd like me, Erin's more of a social sipper, so she says that note just because that's what she's getting. If you're a whiskey nerd like me, you know that means George Dickel whiskey, Tennessee whiskey.
But
this doesn't taste or smell exactly like that to me.
Correct. So can I correct what you said? You don't know that it means that. You can maybe start thinking that it might be that.
Right.
But you don't know that it means that because I'm getting it, Josh isn't getting it. That doesn't mean it's Dickel.
Correct. And I am getting a little bit of the note you're talking about on the finish, but to me it's more of like the minerality that you would get in a good glass of wine.
Okay.
There's like this kind of aftertaste of terroir. I don't know. Like the earth.
What in the terroir did you just say?
Like the earth that went into the grapes makes the terroir taste in the wine.
Okay.
Super scientific here. Not a wine nerd, by the way.
I don't even know what that word means.
It's like the soil and the earth that influenced the grape.
Okay.
And this is coming through with something kind of similar to that.
Okay.
When you get it in wine. Yeah, this to me smells and tastes good. I like it. It's kind of sweet.
Kinda
forward.
Sweet.
What are you getting as far as like spice, finish, all that?
The finish builds. The first sip wasn't super. I didn't think it maybe has high proof. I still don't think it has high proof. But the finish does build upon itself. I'm getting a little bit more heat in the back of my throat after this. I think I've had 3 sips now after the 3rd sip. So it does build.
Yeah, I would say that the spice and the heat do build a little bit on the 2nd sip. But the finish to me kind of falls off. The first sip had more presence on the palate, a little bit more oily. That 2nd sip was just a little bit more thin through the palate.
Oh, interesting. I didn't get that.
I'm left with a lot of flavor, but I guess the body of the whiskey, if you could imagine, the sensation of the viscosity. It just fell off a little bit for me on second sip.
Okay.
So
Cool.
let's get into the second glass and see how it compares.
This smells like there's butterscotch there, but there's also something else that's kind of familiar.
Corn sweetness.
Yeah.
Butterscotch
And
corn.
Like a creamed corn. I'm getting like creamed corn.
Yeah. I'm almost even...
Ooh, like a corn casserole.
You could even throw some husk in here too.
Yeah, there's a little earthiness.
It's got a little husky smell to it. Not like husky. Not like me husky.
Or not like a husky dog.
Right. Doesn't smell like a dog.
Like a corn husk.
Or, me who my pants are starting to fit a little too tight and I need to start watching the diet. It's not husky like that. It's like a corn husk smell.
Mm-hmm. Now, because we said corn and then I said creamed corn and then I said corn casserole, now I really want corn casserole.
Now, here's the thing, guys. We don't try to think about what's in the glass because, like I said, we want to remove the bias. But that minerality note makes your mind want to go towards George Dickel, although I'm not thinking it's that. These notes we're saying on this glass kind of makes your brain, if you're a whiskey nerd, makes your brain go towards craft whiskey. But we're not going to pigeonhole this glass into that.
Yeah, I don't want you to say that to me because I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's a thing.
But let's taste it and see what we're getting.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of right over the plate, it feels like.
Yeah, like I want...
It's there's like an oak caramel corn husk thing going on.
It's almost so right down the middle of like so average what you think whiskey should taste like that I'm almost disappointed.
Yeah. It almost needs a little something to give it some personality.
Yeah, because the nose had some personality and the flavor is just like a regular guy.
Yeah, I'm really missing that butterscotch note, which was the most at the forefront on the aroma.
Yeah.
And it's just not, at least on one sip, does not come through to the palate, but we do owe it another sip.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's just regular.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
If you've had whiskey for any period of time, you kind of know what like the general taste of bourbon specifically is within, a range. And this is that. And that's good. But I just was a little disappointed because the nose had a little bit more zip in the personality.
Yeah. Based on the nose, I was thinking I was going to like the palate more than I do. Like it was going to be above the median or below the median. I'd never, based on the nose, thought that this was going to fall
It's like it
right
is.
across home plate on the palate based on the nose, but it did.
Let's try it again. I mean, it's good. It's solid. There's nothing wrong with it.
It is. Wow. That's crazy. That is if you could, in a dictionary, if you could have taste involved in a dictionary, like not smell-o-vision, but taste-o-vision or whatever, and you saw the word whiskey-flavored whiskey, that's what that is.
Yeah.
That's literally just whiskey-flavored whiskey.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's like if you made a whiskey-flavored candy, hard candy, you would use this.
It would taste like that.
Yeah. Wow. I'm confused. We need to take a little bit more time with these.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to you guys that we're pretty perplexed here.
Yeah.
We are going to take some time. We're going to clear our palates, start with the second glass, go back to the first. Mm-hmm. A lot of times things can change when we do this, so stick around to see what our final thoughts are, our rankings, and all that stuff before we find out the price. And then once we find out the price, you're going to get our honest opinions on what we tasted in the glass versus how much these bottles cost before we find out what we're drinking. See you with all that in just a second. All right, I don't know how that was for you because we don't talk about it, but this is about to get really interesting with some of my commentary.
Oh, I want to hear yours first.
No, go ahead.
No, mine's not as interesting. You go first.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and say that, and I don't say this a lot on the channel, I think these are both good, fine examples of what tastes like bourbon. Mm-hmm. They're good and they're fine. These are the type of bottles that they are so middle of the road, especially glass number 2, whiskey flavored whiskey.
Yeah.
That I would almost never reach for these bottles.
That's a good point.
It doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they're so just nondescript.
Yeah.
That they don't inspire me. They don't make me feel any kind of feelings. I wouldn't grab them when I wanted to drink whiskey and like taste great flavors. And they're not even quite that disappear in the background type of whiskey that I would reach for because there's something a little strange in both of them. It's that kind of that earthy minerality in the first glass on the finish for me.
Yeah.
And then the second glass, there's just like this, it's the way the woodiness and the barrel come across in it. And both of those aren't bad by any means. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not going thumbs down on either one.
Yeah.
But I am going just okay on both of them. And if I had to pick another pour of the two of them, I would just pick something completely different than these two.
Oh, wow.
Personally speaking. But if you force me between these two, I think that little bit of like sour tinge on the finish of one would probably push me towards glass 2 as my winner of these two. But like, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm the most whelmed I've ever been in a whiskey tasting with these two.
I think actually you're pretty spot on. I have different ratings. I came at it from like a slightly different angle. I will agree that the minerality on glass 1 did become slightly off-putting, and glass 1 became super sweet. Like it almost became too sweet after a while. And so I am giving that just okay. I don't particularly care for that. I don't think it's bad, so I'm not going to give it a thumbs down, but honestly, I wouldn't reach for it hardly ever, if ever. And I am going to give glass 2 a thumbs up. Okay. Not because, to your point, it's not something I necessarily would reach for, but once I realigned my expectations, it's good. It's a solid, whiskey-flavored whiskey. So my expectations were higher than the reality, and once I aligned those two, this is a good pour. So I am giving it a thumbs up. If the price is good, I would feel like it would be a good value. I probably wouldn't reach for it very often, but I would feel like I got a good value.
I think that's really fair, to be honest with you. And knowing how we both are, our palates are, Aaron being more the social sipper that likes more of a balanced pour, I would say both of these are pretty balanced. And then me being someone who likes a little bit more personality in their pour, these are just not, they're missing the mark for me personally. So let's find out our price. I hope these are in the $50 or less range. Glass number 1 is number 56. Okay. What's our price?
So this is $25.
That sounds spot on.
I'm not surprised.
Yes.
I still wouldn't get it just because I don't like it. Like,
I'll stay just okay.
I'm not going to go thumbs down, but I wouldn't purchase it.
Yeah. Glass number 2, number 55?
$50.
Okay. I can see glass 2 being more expensive than glass 1.
I'm not mad at it. I may go just okay.
Okay.
Just because, again, it's not something I feel like I would drink a lot. And $50 is not an insignificant amount of money. I don't think it's asking too much. If I really enjoyed the flavor more, I would think it'd be worth it. But I am going to officially just change my rating to just okay.
Okay. By the way, I've smelled these things so many times. The noses, the aroma on both of these, the best things about both of the glasses, I actually really enjoy like they're thumbs up noses for me.
Yeah.
The palates just fall short.
This nose did get better. I got like some sweet tea on it.
Oh, yeah.
Glass 2 is just interesting on the nose.
All right. Let's find out glass 1 first.
Okay.
Number 56.
Old Forester 100 proof.
Really? Okay. That makes sense. I said banana cherry, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But why is it so minerally?
I don't know why it's got that weird thing on the finish.
Yeah.
That's really strange. What's glass number 2, number 55?
Old Forester Statesman.
Oh.
And it's 95 proof, and the Old Forester 100 is 100 proof.
That makes sense.
So is the Statesman hard to find? Because I feel like that's not something I've heard of.
No, it's easy to find. It was a special release that was part of a movie called The Statesman.
Oh, okay.
They made this bottle, and that was many years ago, and they've continued to make it.
Okay.
It's not part of the Whiskey Row series. That's like there's the 1870 and the 1897 Bottle and Bond, and the 1910, which is like a double oaked, and then the 1920, which is a higher proof Prohibition style whiskey. But it's in a similar shaped bottle. The labeling's just a little different, and it's kind of like a one-off standout in the Old Forester collection. And the reason that I matched these two up is because a lot of people see it on shelves and they're like, I see Statesman sitting there. It's $50. Should I maybe consider that? Or should I consider one of the Whiskey Row series bottles? Or can you get a comparable pour in something like the Old Forester 100?
I don't think that they taste similar. I would not have guessed that they were from the same family.
I wouldn't guess they're the same distillery at all.
Same distillery.
Statesman is a different profile
Yeah.
than this. now that I know what it is, this smells and does taste like Old Forester, except with a weird sour twinge.
Yeah,
on
that mineral note is not something I've typically gotten on an Old Forester product. So this is the first time I've gotten that on an Old Forester situation.
I know what it is, and it's still there. That's weird. The Statesman, though, for $50, I think I would say pass.
It's
not bad.
If you buy it,
I would buy 1910 before that.
yeah,
All day long.
but like if you buy it, I don't think you've wasted your money.
No.
It's just
It's
fine.
fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. But I would buy
And not how like women say they're fine. It's like truly fine.
That's a fair point. How you doing? I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I would buy Old Forester 1910. If you're looking for a good, flavorful mid-90s proof solution from Old Forester, I would skip both of these and just get 1910.
What's the price point on 1910?
$55.
Okay, so similar-ish
It's worth
price
it.
point to Statesman.
It's worth it. Old Forester 100's good as a mixer. I don't know that I would buy this to drink neat, the Old Forester 100. And Statesman, Old Forester 1910 is such a well-rounded, good, do-it-all type of pour.
It is like a workhorse pour.
Yeah, it's sweeter than both of these. It's got more like concentration of flavor on the palate than both of these have. It's got better body than both of these have. Just buy 1910.
Okay. Well,
There you go.
I think
Just subscribe to the channel. If you're good people who like good whiskey, just check out our Patreon. It's linked down in the video description below. Good people, good whiskey. People are sharing samples, helping people find bottles all the time. We got our barrel picks that come out over there. We do virtual virtual tastings, including some virtual blind tastings, bonus live streams. And if you don't even care about any of that stuff and you just want to support the channel, you appreciate the content we make, it helps a ton. It helps keep the lights on around here. So you can do that down there at Patreon for as little as $3 a month.
Yep.
And we have annual billing now, so you can just sign up and get a 10% discount. So
there you go.
you
Great.
can do that as well. If you're interested in hats like this cool dad hat, shirts like this Batman Catwoman answering the Glencairn call of whiskey. Who doesn't want to answer the whiskey call? I mean, you put this up in the sky. Where's it at? Here. You put this up in the sky. I'm gonna come running.
You will. All right. That's it for today, y'all. Be good to each other. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers. Man, Old Forester.
Oh, you're mixing them?
Yeah.
Are you gonna drink it?
I wish I would have done this on the video.
Try it.
I'm gonna try it. It can't be worse. Actually,
it could be
It can be
worse.
worse. Yeah.
You could have just made it worse.
Smell that and tell me what you think. There's a specific smell on that.
Pool water?
No. Maple syrup.
With chlorine?
Let me smell that and see. I mean, we could just make sure it's too.
I don't have equal parts.
Maple syrup. That smells like maple syrup.
Okay. I'm getting a chlorinated. The minerality of that first one sticks out to me. Crazy.
Honestly, the mix of the two. I mean, we've got a little bit of both of these bottles. I might just mix them.
Sure.
I think that's better than both.
Sure.
I think that was a big takeaway from this. Is Old Forester 1910 is just the best Old Forester product for the money.
Yeah.
And just buy that.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. The more you know.